Hi everyone, welcome back to Smarta.
With Marta. Today we're going to be doing a math lesson. This is part 2 of partitioning, but before we do that, we wanted to talk about some of the things that kids in our classes are doing and sending us messages or writing or pictures or videos of. So I was going to mention George. George sent me a video of a puppet show that he did with his sister, and they made all the puppets and they wrote the play and then they performed it, and his mom took a video of it and sent it to me, and we both really enjoyed that. Thank you, George.
Liked it. In my class, Corbin's been doing a few things. He's been writing to me, and we've been talking about how we both like baking, and Corbin's been baking many things. He made cinnamon buns, I think it was one day, and also carrot cake. No, it was carrot muffins. It made me really hungry. I think it was carrot.
You should make some for us.
I definitely should.
Okay.
But Corbin's been baking up a storm. In addition to that, Corbin has put up a really nice, decorated his window with a rainbow thank you to all the essential workers. It was really, really nice. So great job, Corbin. Keep up the thanks and keep up the baking.
All right, so we wanted to move into some jokes. Mr. Marta has one first.
All right. Why did the student eat his homework?
Why?
The teacher said it was a piece of cake.
Oh, I would have eaten it too then. Okay, what did one volcano say to the other volcano?
What?
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Okay, we are going to go on to the math lesson now, so get what you need, either your whiteboard or some paper to do the questions on, and meet me over at the easel.
See you later.
All right, hi everyone. We're here. We're going to do part 2 of partitioning. That means you've already done Mr. Marta's lesson where you've done all the questions with him, and then you did the on your own questions and checked them with the answer video. So before you start today, you either need to have a paper and pencil so you can work along with me, or a whiteboard so you can work along with me. And this is just practice. This isn't something you're going to keep or send to me. This is just for you to get it back in your head. So what we're starting with today is a little bit trickier than what Mr. Marta did the other day, but it's still partitioning, and I think you can do it. So our first question is 52 plus 91. The first thing we do is stack it up. So when I see it like this, I'm going to start under here to stack it up because sometimes I run out of room. So I put the plus down here, I put the equals line at the bottom, and the next thing I do is I break it into parts. That's why we call it partitioning. So I've got 52. I'm going to break it into, think about it, 50 plus 2. Hey, do you know what's cool about school at home? When you're at school, I don't like it, and Mr. Marta doesn't like it when you call out the answers. But when you're at home, feel free to call out the answers because it's just you. You're not hurting anybody else's learning. So when I say, how do you break up 91? You should be yelling out 90 plus 1. Then you put your equals line. Now I have 50 plus 90. That's a big one. So what I'm going to do is for a minute, I forget about the zeros and I think about what is 5 tens plus 9 tens. And it's a 9, so I know it's close to 10. So 5, I take one over there, that makes that 4, 10 and 4 is 14. Now, sometimes you do this, you get this far and you forget to do the next part, but think in your head, is it possible for 50 plus 90 to be 14? What did you forget? Right, the zeros. So we put the 0 down there, we put the plus, 2 plus 1, you're yelling it out right now, is 3. Then I do my final step. I take 140 plus 3 is 143. All right, get ready to write the next one. Mr. Martin nicely wrote them on paper for me, so I didn't have to think about it too much. 83 plus 94. Now, sometimes when you get a math question, you're going to get it sideways like this, and sometimes you're going to get it like this. If you get it like this, it's already stacked for you. You don't have to do that. All right, so what's the next step? We've already got it stacked. 83 becomes 80 plus 3. Remember, you can yell it out because you're at home. 94 becomes 90 plus 4. What's next? Yep, put the equal line. Now I'm going to add 80 and 90. In my head, I can't do that, 80 and 90, but I can do 8 and 9 in my head. So 8 and 9, 17, then I need to remember to put the 0 down here. So 80 and 90 is 170, plus 3 and 4, which is 7. Then I do my final step. Do you know the answer? Yep, 177. Now, I have 2 more questions and I've used more than half of my paper, so I'm going to start writing a little bit smaller. All right, no, I don't have 2 more questions. Mr. Marta has his hand up. What would you like to say, Mr. Marta?
Could you just draw some lines between questions 1 and 2
Yep.
so I can see where they stop and start?
Exactly.
Easier, thank you.
And you know what? I don't have another question here. What I have is a challenge question, and I have plenty of room for my challenge. I'm going to put a star because it's a challenge. So here is our challenge question. 647 plus 186. Wow, that is a big one. So job number 1, stack it up. Look at me starting way over here because it's big. 647 plus 186. I draw my equals line. What do I do first? Break it into parts. So when I have 647, I'm actually saying it. Imagine I'm saying it in slow motion and I'm saying the answer. 647. That works most of the time, not all the time. 186. Let's see if it works this time. 186. It does. Next job, put your equals line. Sorry if you can hear this. I'm trying to keep the easel from sliding to the back of the table. All right. Next, we start with the big number here. We have 600 plus 100. This one you can probably do in your head. In your head, you know 6 and 1 is 7. So 600 and 100 is 700. If you couldn't do that in your head, you know 6 and 1 is 7, and then we have 2 zeros because it's 100, and you put them under there. All right. Now, I have 80 plus 40. Wow. In my head, the way that I do this one, first I forget about the zeros. Do you know what? So we don't forget about it later, let's put it right now. Then we don't have to worry about it. Now I have 8 and 4. 8 and 4 is a hard one to add. So what I do is I imagine the 10 frames. See, I closed my eyes because I was imagining it. I imagine the 10 frames. And when I look at the 8, there's 2 empty spaces. So I'm going to steal 2 of them from here, put it over there to make this a 10. And if I take 2 away from here, there's only 2 left. So a 10 and a 2 is 12. Uh-oh. Another big number. This is a difficult challenge question. So now I have 7 plus 6. Oh, this is that double plus 1 one. If I had 6 plus 6, I know my doubles are 12, and 7 is just 1 more, so I know it's 13. Now, I have 2 numbers I need to break up this time. I need to break up the 120, and I need to break up the 13. We know how to do this. We've been doing this a lot. The 13 becomes 10 and 3. If I want to break up 120, it's just how it sounds. 120. And then I put all the little pluses in there. Bring down my 700. Okay, this is a big one. 700 plus 100 is 800. 800 plus 20, 820. 10 more, 830, 3 more, 833. Now, what I forgot to say at the beginning of the challenge is, this is going to be hard. It's your choice whether you want to do the challenge or not, but I hope you're trying. I hope you're trying to follow at least some of it. Okay, we're going on to the next page. All right, now we're going to do the super duper most tricky grade 2 partitioning that you can do. So this is it. If you can do this, you've got partitioning under wraps. So we're going to start with 78 plus 69. Job number 1, stack it up. So you're doing that on your paper or your whiteboard. What's your next job? You're calling out, Mrs. Marta, break them into parts. I say, good. What's 78 when you break it into parts? 70 and 8 and 69 when you break it into parts is 60 and 9. Then I draw my equals line. Now, Mr. Marta and I just had a little break between sheets, and he said to me, don't you need to do this? And I don't do that. You can do that or not do that. That's totally up to you, whatever works better for you. Okay, so 70 plus 60, I'm going to put the 0 down there so I don't forget it. 7 plus 6, oh, it's that one I just did in the last question. So I've got 13. So 70 plus 60 is 130. Now I have 8 plus 9. That is another doubles plus 1. I could do 8 plus 8 and 1 more. So 8 plus 8 is 16 and 1 more is 17. Now, this is not easy to add in your head. 130 and 17. Don't have enough fingers, not going to do it that way. I'm going to break the 17 into 2 pieces, and I better start writing smaller. So I have 130 and 10 more. That might be a little bit tricky for you. If it is, do this. What's 30 and 10 more? 40. So 130 and 10 more is 140. So now I have 130, 140, 147. Now you might notice I forgot to do this. As you get better at this, you might not need to do that. You might be able to do that in your head. But if you can't do it in your head, then write all the steps down. All right, I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to write small because at the end we have a super duper really hard challenge and I want to have a lot of room for that one. So I'm going to write small. 57, can you still see it, Mr. Marta?
Yes, I can.
Plus 94. Step 1, stack it up. 57 plus 94. Draw the equals line. Next step, break it into parts. 57 broken into parts. 50 plus 7. 94 broken into parts. I can almost hear you yelling it from my house. 90 plus 4. And then the equals line. Now, if I'm going a little bit fast for you, this is when you just press the pause button so you can catch up to me. It's not like in class where I just keep going on. You can actually stop me, but then start me up again. All right, 50 plus 90. I'm going to put my 0 there because I know the answer is going to be in the tens, and I have 5 tens and 9 tens, which I know is 14 tens. Then I put my plus. I have 7 plus 4. I know 7 plus 3 is 10. 4 is 1 more, so I know it's going to be 11. Okay, now, do I need to break any of this up? I could do this one in my head, because 11 is just 10 more, but let's just break up the pieces. Well, it's not 10 more, it's 1 more. Let's break up the pieces here. 11 is 10 and 1. 140 plus 10 plus 1. If you can't do it, forget about the 100 and say 40 and 10 is 50. So 140 and 10 is 150. Plus 1 equals 151. All right, are you ready for this? Mr. Marta made this super duper double challenge. It says not for the faint of heart, very difficult. So proceed.
This is way past grade 2.
Proceed with caution. If you're feeling, hey, I'd like to try this, then we're proud of you for stretching your brain. All right, here we go. 649 plus 978. Remember, sometimes I said you get them this way and sometimes you get them this way. It means the same thing. In this question, this means equals, and in this question, this means equals. So the first thing I'm going to do is break it into parts. I can do this one in slow motion. 649 and 978. Work that one out in your head. Start writing it down because I know you know it. 900 plus 70 plus 8. All right, now we have to add 900 and 600. This is a really, really big one. First thing I'm going to do is put down those zeros because I know it's going to be a number in the hundreds. But then I have 6 plus 9. Now we've done that one earlier. It's not on this page, it's on the other page. And I remember that 6 plus 9 was 15. So I have this big number. And there's actually, people say it two ways. Some people say 1,500. You can also say 1,500. So there are 1,500s here. All right. Then we go over here. We have 40 plus 70. I look up here, I notice, oh yes, we did that one. What else do I need to do? Don't forget, Mrs. Marta, put the 0 there because these are the 10s. There's 11 10s and 9 plus 8. Oh, it's right up there. Look at that. Thanks, Mr. Marta.
You're welcome.
It's 17. Now, I have a lot of breaking up to do. I don't actually have to break up the first one. I already know it's 1,500, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to break 110 into 100 plus 10. And I'm going to break 17 into 10 and 7. And I'm going to bring this down because this is super duper tricky and I want to see everything all in a row. So now I have 1,500 and one more. What's one more than 15? 16. So 1,600, 1,610, 1,620, 1,627, 1,627. That was a hard one. What's the other way to say this number instead of just 1,627? 1,627. Okay, so those are all the practice questions. Now I'm going to give you the questions I want you to do on your own. So I'm going to show you the questions everybody needs to do. There's 4 questions. Can you see them all, Mr. Marta?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So this is where you pause and write these all down. Mr. Marta's sending me a signal that I can't understand. He needs me to put equal signs. Thank you, Mr. Marta. All right. So your job, now that you're back, you've got these all written down, is to decide if you want to do the challenge questions. They're very hard. I think there's a lot of you that should try them. Try to stretch your brain. If you feel like it's too much, you can just watch. You don't need to solve it with us. This one is your super challenge, and this one is your super infinity mega hard challenge. Okay, so take some time to write those down, and we will meet you back here in the next video where we will go over the answers. Your homework, do the first 4 questions. If you want to, do the challenge questions, and then when you come back to watch the video tomorrow or later, whatever, make sure that you have your work done. Okay, that's great. Okay, everybody, so that was your partitioning lesson part 2. Come back to the next video after you finished your questions so you can find out the answers to see if you got them right or not. Before we do that, we wanted to mention that a lot of people have been talking about Rexy in their emails to us. They're quite a fan of having him as a class pet. Isla sent me an email that told me she thought he was pretty cool. Then she sent me 2 pictures of her class pets, which were 2 very cute guinea pigs. Thank you, Isla, for sharing with me.
And Hayumi in her writing has been asking me a few times, Rexy's very cute, she says. And Hayumi wanted to know, is Rexy actually a dinosaur or is he a lizard? Because he's small. And the answer is he's the scaled down version of his big self. He's definitely a T-Rex, but T-Rexes are essentially giant lizards. So I guess they're kind of both.
With banana-sized teeth.
With banana-sized teeth. You know, we should talk about though, Mrs. Marta. We just thought about this, or I just thought about this. We just learned about this. Tell them what you learned about our YouTube comments.
Right. So because these videos are made for kids, you are not able to comment on the videos anymore. It's something that they do to keep kids safe. So if you have something you want to say about the videos, you can just send us emails.
Excellent.
Okay. So we wanted to do one more thing that we thought was fun.
All right.
We happened to be looking at some pictures this morning, and Mr. Marta found some pictures of us when we were very, very little. So I'm going to show you mine first. Here I am. I think I'm not quite 1 year old. I'm going to try to move it closer so you can see it a little better. That's what Mrs. Marta looked like when she was a baby.
Oh, and tell them how they got your hands like that.
My mom tells me, because I don't remember, that they put tape on my hands to make them stick together like that. All right, let's see yours, Mr. Marta.
Okay, mine, we chose the one that Mrs. Marta likes the best. We're guessing I'm about 2 years old here, and Mrs. Marta loves it because she likes the little sailor suit. I'll bring it a little close up for you. That's Mr. Marta at about 2 years old.
If we're being honest, he probably still has that outfit. And finally, we wanted to show you what Rexy looked like when he was a baby.
Yes, Rexy's
and
baby pictures.
Baby Rexy has a dino joke for you.
Okay.
There's baby
That's
Rexy.
baby Rexy.
Baby Rexy, do you have a joke? Yes. Why did the dinosaur cross the road?
Why did the dinosaur cross the road, Rexy?
Because it was chasing the chicken.
Pretty good, Rexy.
It was a good one. Okay, goodbye, cute baby Rexy. See you guys in the next video.
Bye, boys and girls.